from now on is being recorded. And the video in sync. So you can see in here everything that goes on except my waving my arms. You can't see that. Okay, it's just whatever is projected on the board and whatever I say. Now, my microphone's in the computer. I found myself talking to the board or talking to y'all. It may not pick up as much, but because I'm hard of hearing, I talk real loud. Okay, so hopefully it'll pick it up. If you ever have trouble hearing me, let me know and I'll try to focus back on the computer. But I'm stuck with the computer here because we have a limited cord to plug into this thing. Okay, any questions before we get started on the syllabus? Okay. This is fall 2017. Now, the reason it says first mini-term, this is the full-term class, but my office hours will change at midterm because I have a first mini-term Physical Science 111 class and a second mini-term Physical Science 112 class. Joshua Bennett. Okay, he was the one trying to get away. Okay, all right.
Gotcha.
Okay. And they don't start and end at the same time, so my office hours will change ever so slightly between first and second mini-term. I'll try to remember to get the syllabus updated for second mini-term, but I'll tell you what it is, even if it doesn't get updated. Now, this is not on Blackboard yet. I didn't have a chance to do that over the weekend, but I hope to do that sometime this week. All right, this is Math 100 Intermediate Algebra. As they say, a Blackboard-supported course. It's a 3-credit hour course. The class meets Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 9:15, and I will try to be here before 8 and get started at 8, but this first week is kind of nuts, okay? We are on the Bessemer campus, as you know, and Building A, as you know, is room A255, as you know. But anyone who's not here and finds out they can see this on this, they'll know where to come. My name is Charles Fowler, and here's my email, cfowler@lawsonstate.edu. Time out here. Just about all the employees at the college, first initial, last name at lawsonstate.edu. Not all, okay? We have several Williamses and several S. Williamses. So Ms. Sharon Williams down in Financial Services, she's S.D. Williams because there was already an S. Williams. And down the hall here, Miss Cicely Martin, there was already a C. Martin, so she's C.D. Martin or something like that. The C.M. Martin, something. They sometimes I have to use second middle initial as well. However, a few instructors want to do their own thing, like Mr. Calvin King, who teaches speech and English. He is Calvin underline King or something like that. So he's a little different. So I mean he has a different email. All right. Now there may be a few exceptions like that, but most of us are first initial last name at lawsonstate.edu. Now, right now, I'm so far behind in emails, I don't know when I'll catch up with them, but I do try to check emails, okay? This first week of class, we're doing drop add and trying to get everything running right. I'm trying to hire, I'm the math department chair, I'm trying to hire 2 new instructors because I had one instructor is overseas for the summer, for this year, she's adjunct, and one got a full-time job at A&M, so I lost her, and one more couldn't teach in the day, so I'm trying to fill and shuffle schedules, and we had most of the classes make, so I had to hire a couple new people. They're in the process now, so it's going to be a crazy week, but after a while, hopefully it'll settle down. Here's my phone number, 929-3449. Now let me give you a hint. Call during my office hours. If I'm in class, I'm not going to hear the phone. My office is at the other end of the hall. And I'm not going to interrupt class even if I could hear it, okay? If you think I'm far behind in emails now, we had a week off and then we were over on the Birmingham campus for 2 days. I have not been in the office much at all. The phone thing is full. I don't even know if it's receiving messages anymore. So don't bother leaving a message. If you don't get me on the first time, if you're calling during office hours, wait a few minutes, 10 minutes, call again, and I'll probably be back in the office. But here are my office hours. Okay, I have this class, and immediately after this class, now these are subject to change, because immediately after this class I have a Calculus 2 class. It doesn't have many students in it, but it really needs to make, because if those students, we don't make it this time, they have to buy a new book for next spring, because we're changing editions, but they can't keep it because they're in Cal 1 with the old book, and the new book, the Cal 1 students are getting this time. I really want that class to make so they don't have to buy a new book, okay? But I don't know if they'll let it make or not. But anyway, that goes from 9:30 until, this class ends at 9:15, it goes from 9:30 until 11:10, and then I have about a little less than an hour to eat lunch, and then I have another Cal 3 in the afternoon. I'm hoping we can cancel that one and do it in the spring. We'll see that. That's, I don't remember the time, well, I have them here. 12:15 to somewhere here. Oh no, I left it down in my office, sorry. That's Cal 3. And then at 2 o'clock, I think it's differential equations. And it doesn't have many students in it either. So it may wind up that after 8:15, I'll have office hours the rest of the day. If they let the Cal 2 make, then I may have office hours after 11:15. If some of them need it to graduate, I'll go on and teach the Cal 3 or the other. I hope I don't have to teach all four, because they're really small classes. But if they do, this is when I get out of class at 3:15. So 3:15 to 5:15. I'm usually here till 5:15. Now today I may leave a little early just because I've got someplace I'm supposed to be at 5, and I can't be there if I leave at 5:15. So, and it's in Birmingham, so I may have to leave a little early today. But most days I'm here till 5:15. Now Tuesday and Thursday I have an 8 o'clock class and a 9:30 class and an 11 o'clock class, and it gets through at 12:15. At 12:15, and then my physical science starts at 1:15. So this is my lunch hour, but that's the only time four of those classes, no, 3 of the 4 have made. I'm hoping I can lose that one. That's 11 o'clock, but we'll see. If someone needs it to graduate, I'll go on and teach it. But hopefully, I think it's linear algebra. I don't think it has many students in it. I didn't print those out, but so right now the only office hours I have are during my lunch hour from 12:15 to 1:15, and then the physical science starts at 1:15. It's a mini term, so it goes until 3:45, and then the lab goes from 3:45 to 5:45. So if you're here after 5:45, you can still catch me then. But Tuesday and Thursday, unless I can lose that 11 o'clock class, that's the only office hours I've got. Now, Monday through Thursday, I'm on the Bessemer campus. My office is in 265. And since most of y'all are new here, let me show you where that is. Now, this isn't recording the sound. So we're right up here in this corner classroom. You go out this door here, take a left, go down the half flight of stairs there, go almost to the end of the hall. Don't bump into the wall at the end. Don't go to the stairwell at the very end, but the office right next to that, between the mechanical room and the stair room and the stairwell, that's my office, 265. Across from the orientation classroom, if any of you are going to be in that one, okay? Now, let me say this. Most of you are new here at Lawson, right? If you are, the numbering in this building is absolutely nuts, okay? It really is. Some of you have affirming that. Right here, somewhere right along here, just past the restrooms down here, you'll see a little thing in the floor there, okay? I think the oldest part of the building was built this way, because the first thing on the right will be 200, 201, 202, 203, and it sort of makes a little sense going down the hall to 211, 212. But then they must have built this part of the building. So since this started at 200 here, rather than, well, let's just change the number system. No. What we'll do is start at 250 and go this way. Okay. So it starts at 250 is over here, 200 is here, 250 is here, 250, 251, 252, 253, 255, 257. The 254 doesn't start until down here, 256. They're nuts. They're really nuts. So 257, 259, 261, 263, and minus 265. So don't try to make any sense of them. Even worse, when you get on this lower level of the second floor, okay, you go through this corridor here, and you go to the first floor. You don't go up or down a single stair. You go from the second floor to the first floor just by walking a flat corridor. And then if you go down a flight, and over here, you're on the first floor again, okay? So there are 3 levels to the first floor. The lowest level is underneath where my office is. The middle is over here, and the upper part of the first floor is there, okay? So it is kind of, I said that wrong. Middle part's there. So the building, it's like someone put it together in Legos. Let me go and explain the rest of it to you, too. Sometime later, they built what I call the nursing wing. Those were built after these parts were built. They started that numbering at 170. So you have on the first floor 100 to 115 or no one, yeah, something like that here. Then 150 to 160, something and other there. Then the 170s are over here. Then they built the student services wing, and they started those with the 190s. So there is not much sense to the whole way that we've numbered. And why they didn't just stop and say, wait, let's just renumber, and we'll go from there. No, everybody knows these classrooms. Don't worry, in 2 years, we'll have a new set of students. They won't know the old classroom, but no, they wouldn't do that. All right, so Monday through Thursday, I'm here in 265 when I'm in the office. As you see, I'm not in the office very much. Fridays, I'm on the Birmingham campus most Fridays, and that's, at least for now, 7:45 to 11:45. I might extend that a little bit later, but that's in the, are any of you familiar with Birmingham campus at all? Okay, you are. Okay, you know where Dr. Pruitt's office is? Everybody knows where Dr. Pruitt's office is. As for that, I'm in the copy room of his suite. He has a suite of offices. I'm behind the secretary where they have the copy machine. That's where I'm on Friday mornings. Okay, it's academic building. That's what that stands for, B122. Okay, now on Math 100. This is the course description. I didn't write this. No one here at the college wrote this. This was done by a committee of 2-year college people, 4-year. The public 4-year colleges and universities in the state of Alabama with the 2-year college system in the state of Alabama. And they came up, if we teach this, they'll give you credit for it. If they give credit for Math 100. Generally, it's not usually a transferable course, but some schools may take it. This course provides a study in algebraic techniques such as linear equations and inequalities. Hang on to that concept. Quadratic equations. Hang on to that concept. Systems of equations. Hang on to that. And operations with exponents and radicals. Okay? Functions and relations are introduced and graphed, remember that one too, with special emphasis on linear and quadratic functions. Okay? That's the course description. I'll come back to that in just a minute. Prerequisites. Math 100 has a prerequisite. You either have to score for 100, which I'm guessing most of you did, or you had to pass Math 98, which some of you may have done. Okay? Co-requisites, none. All right. The textbook. Do any of you have it yet? Some of you do. I just want to check and make sure it's the same as mine, because they change editions on it sometime and don't let us know. But they changed this fairly recently. I think it's good. Have you got a copy of it? Okay. Yes, that looks like the same one. 10th edition, right? Yes. Okay, good deal. If you have the 9th edition, don't sweat it. They change editions just about every 2 or 3 years, and the main reason that I've seen that they change editions is because the publisher only makes monies on new books. So therefore, they like to change editions every 2 or 3 years so they can sell new books. They don't like used books being floating around out there because the publisher doesn't make any money on used books. So they are very frequent in changing this. I think it'll be good, maybe it'll be good this year. So if you do want to sell it back at the end of the term, if you haven't fallen in love with it by then you probably will be able to. I can't swear about next year, but we don't usually go to a new edition until the beginning of the school year. Okay? So it's Kaufman and Switter's Intermediate Algebra, 10th edition, has this atom-looking thing in front, though the dimensions are really lousy for an atom. Okay. It's published by Brooks Cole. Okay, Cengage Learning, Brooks Cole. Students are expected to bring the text, paper, and pencil to class at each meeting. Calculators are permitted in the course. Now, I didn't write this part of the syllabus either. I don't care if you use pencil or pen, but I'll make a confession to you right now. It's confession time. When I do math, I tend to make errors. You'll see that soon enough, okay? And so therefore, I usually like to use pencil. But if you're comfortable using a pen, that's fine with me. I don't take off points or anything like that for it. So, that's the book. They put this paragraph in here on Blackboard. They put it in here years ago, and they told us you can't change this paragraph. This is fixed. You can't change it. And it's obsolete now. But I'll read it to you. All Austin Community College students must be trained in Blackboard and use Blackboard daily to gain access to vital course information such as the syllabus, and you will read the syllabus every day, won't you? Weekends included, right? Of course you will. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, making fun of it. Okay, and use Blackboard daily to gain access to vital as a syllabus. It's not there yet, but it will be hopefully before the week's over with. Handouts. Now, most of the time, if I have a handout for you, I will hand it out to you, okay? So I don't usually put handouts on Blackboard, but you may find some, but most of the time not. PowerPoint shows, yes. Now, they're not there yet. This book, and here's the sad part, comes with, or used to come with a CD or DVD, okay? Now, the reason I say used to is the 10th edition, they decided not to do that anymore. But it's such a valuable and useful teaching tool, I still use the 9th edition. And guess what? Almost nothing has changed. We'll run into probably 2 or 3 times in the term, the whole term, that something will have changed, and I'll handle that then. But as I said, the only reason I can tell they do new editions is to sell new books, because very, very, very little has changed. So that'll be out there under now. Y'all are fairly new here, I take it. Are y'all familiar with Blackboard? You are, okay. When you go to Blackboard, there'll be a block over here in the upper left corner of the page. This course Blackboard homepage, okay? In that will be several tabs, or whatever you call them, okay? Like the second or third one down usually says content. Now, the reason I'm using fudging with weasel words here, I only see the instructor side, I don't see the student side. So yours may not be in quite the same order as mine. There's usually a second or third tab there is content. If you click on content, the first thing hopefully you'll see is syllabus, okay? Now, I'm going to wait until I know what my office hours really are, which classes have been canceled, which one, I'm going to wait till I have all that before I put the syllabus out there. That's why it's not there yet. When I fix the office hours, then I'll put it up there, okay? The next thing after that will be research paper general instructions. This course will have a research paper. Not a big thing, but just a little thing. I want you all to get out of the book into the real world, okay? The next thing on there will be my locator card, showing when I'm in class, when I'm not in class, when I have office hours, when, all that kind of stuff. When I'm on campus, when I'm off campus, okay? Because I don't know that yet, it's not out there yet, okay? The next thing after that will start being the PowerPoints. Now, they will be the PowerPoints from the 9th edition, but like I say, you'll see very, very little contradiction between them and what you have in your text. And there will be one for each section, I believe it is. So there's going to be a whole bunch of PowerPoints. That's why I got this talking about that. While I'm there, let me tell you the rest of what's in Blackboard. Not there yet, but it will be. Over the years, I have had students either tell me about websites they found useful for the course, or I have found websites that I thought might be useful for the course. So if I found those, I'll put those out there. After the PowerPoints, I will put the websites that you can use or not. It's up to you, but you'll have access to them. Is someone at the door? Hey, Math 100? Yes. What's your name, please? Mason? Huh? Donna. And what's the last name? Bates. Okay, I'm hard of hearing. Also hard-headed, but never mind. Donna, and you go by Donna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. Okay. I was just talking about, well, everything I've said so far will be on YouTube by the end of the day. So if you want to go back and hear what we covered before you got here. And we didn't get started super early because I've been directing traffic all morning. So anyway, you haven't missed much, but you can go back and review everything on YouTube later. I was just talking about PowerPoint. It will be on Blackboard under Content. That's one place. That's going to be the static version. You just see the slides. That's all. Now, if some people like to print those slides and then take notes on them, if you like that, go for it. I don't care. Okay? But it's out there for you to use. They're not there yet. Hopefully, I'll get them there before the end of the week. Okay. The next thing was the other resources that either students have told me about or I found. They're there under Content. And then the last thing under Content will be your link to the YouTube videos. And every class I do, except days when we have tests. There's no reason to do a YouTube on a test, okay? I will record and then upload it to YouTube. The uploading part takes a while it takes a while for this old package to process, and then it takes another while for it to upload. Once it's uploaded, then I move it to the playlist, and that's where the link will be. And you see, if I'm in class when it does that, I have to wait till I get out of class and have a chance to move it to the playlist. So that will all be under Blackboard. PowerPoint show the first place. Where's the second place? Down there in the YouTube. Because I teach from the PowerPoint, and you got not just show it again, because this computer is a tablet. I write on it, I solve the examples on it, I do all that on it, and you hear me talk about it. The first place under Content is just static. The one under YouTube is fairly dynamic. You get to listen and hear what I say about those things. Okay, so those are PowerPoint shows. Activities. Now, sometimes the school puts activities out there on Blackboard. I don't usually. If something comes up, I'll put it there, but usually not. Assignments, they're kind of there, okay? I don't type out, do these problems, I don't do that every day. What I do is when we finish a day section in class, I give you the homework assignments for it. It'll be there under YouTube. If you go listen to YouTube, you'll find out what the assignment is. When I finish a section, I give you those assignments. At the end of class, I give you assignments. So it may be a couple places there under YouTube. That's where assignments will be. Now, with one exception. The research paper assignment, that's going to be there, right there in Blackboard, okay? It's like the second tab under Content, okay? Second file under Content. Okay, announcements. Usually, sometimes the school will put announcements there. Very seldom will I have any, but every now and then they do something bizarre. Like last summer, there was an opportunity to go to a National Science Foundation workshop. And I said, I'm interested to go if you want me to go. If it's on this workshop that's in Atlanta Friday and Saturday, I'll be glad to go to that. Well, the vice president decided he wanted to go to New Orleans on Monday and Tuesday. I said, well, I can't go to that because I have classes in. Oh, yeah, we didn't want to mess up a weekend. Well, that's the difference between an instructor and an administrator. Instructors worry about classes, administrators worry about weekends. We wound up going on a Monday and Tuesday. So I had to miss class. I'm hoping that's not going to happen this term. But if it does, then I'll put that announcement out there. But generally, I'm going to be here. I want to be here every day, whatever. Now, if I get really sick or something, then guess what? I'm probably not going to have a chance to put it out and say, hey, I'm sick, I'm not going to be there. Other than that, if I'm caught in traffic, I can't, hey, I'm caught in traffic, I can't get up there. So generally, I'll let you know ahead of time if I know of anything coming up. Grades. I will try to get grades out there as soon as possible. Now, this is a big class. So when you have your first, by the way, start getting those research papers in early in the term as possible. As soon as you get them in, I'll try to get the grades out there, okay? But when I give you a quiz or a test, it's going to take me a little while to get those graded, and hopefully within a day or so, I'll have the grades out there. Once the term moves on and we start registering for spring term, last time I checked, I had about 450 advisees officially. I don't see, they all come to me, but a lot of them do, and I get a lot of people who, I'm not the advisor, they come to me as well. Once that starts, it'll be at the end of the week, because usually my Fridays I spend catching up grading and getting grades on Blackboard. So first part of the course, hopefully I'll get them out there within a few days. Last part of the course, it'll probably be by the end of the week. Now, I do not like this next sentence. Failure to use Blackboard could severely damage your ability to pass the course. What a negative sentence. If they let me change it, I would have said, the proper use of Blackboard could greatly enhance your ability to do well in the course. Okay, now some people may teach it strictly from Blackboard. Yeah, you can't pass it without it. I don't, so I don't like that sentence. The next sentence makes no sense at all. See the schedule book. Like I said, they put this out there years ago, back when we had schedule books. We don't anymore. It's all online now, but they don't let us take that out, okay? There is no inside cover to an online schedule, okay? To determine when you can, if you need help in Blackboard, see me. I'll get you in touch with someone who is really good at Blackboard. I'll help you if I can, but I'll get you in touch with someone if it's beyond me. Students should always check Blackboard announcement page prior to coming to class. I find this almost insulting. Because why should you always check before coming to class? What's the comma blank? What would be there? Why would you have to check? They encourage you to check before coming to class. To see if the instructor has canceled class. Am I going to do that? Not unless I absolutely have to. I mean, usually if I have to, I'm going to let you know ahead of time. Like I said, if I get sick or get stuck in traffic, there's no way I can get it to you in time. So I find that almost insulting. I'm not going to go around canceling class willy-nilly. I'm going to be here if I possibly can. Sorry about that. That was a commercial break. Okay. Core student learning outcomes. Now, this is where I wanted you to remember the content. Students will perform operations with polynomials. Okay? And by the way, if you have your books, you can start looking in your books. Polynomials are addressed in, and this gives me another opportunity here. Time out. Chapter 1, Basic Concepts and Properties. To me, this is stuff you should have learned in Math 090 or somewhere back in junior high or high school, okay? So I'm not going to do Chapter 1. Go back. This will be part of your homework for tomorrow, for Wednesday. Go back and review Chapter 1. If there's anything there that is fuzzy, you don't remember, you remember doing something like it but don't remember how, ask me questions on it. I think you'll find that all pretty much reviewed. Chapter 2, Equations, Inequalities, and Problem Solving. Here, that would be covered in Math 098. Again, I think that was covered in high school, okay? If anything in there are things that you don't remember or are fuzzy on, you need a little review, ask me in class. Chapter 3 is where polynomials begin. But 3.1, 2, and 3 were covered in 098. Now, actually, 3.4, 5, and 6 probably were covered in 098 as well, but that's where I think the overlap should be, because that's where I find students are weakest. So we're going to start in 3.4. So basically, part of your homework, go back and review 1, 2, and 3, 1 through 3. See if there's anything there you're a little bit fuzzy on. If there is, ask me. We'll do a quick review of that and try to get you up to speed. Now, beginning in 3.4, when I'm teaching that, if I run into a concept that was earlier, I'm going to review that concept anyway, okay? For instance, when you're factoring a polynomial, what is factoring the reverse of? Multiply. Foiling, unfoiling. That's what factoring is, okay? So I will go over some of those things about multiplying polynomials to help you see how factoring comes into play, okay? So that's where we began perform operations with polynomials. And by the way, these include equations and stuff, okay? Students will perform operations with rational, okay, another time out here. The very last thing we do, factoring trinomials in 3.6, if you jump over to chapter 6, you're doing quadratic equations and things, which is another way of doing, a factoring. I mean, it follows up on factoring. So basically what we'll do is 3 and 6. I'm going to combine those together. Now there's some things in 6 that you haven't hit, and we're not going to deal with those yet, okay? But the things that do follow from 3, we are going to do. So that's why it's 3 and 6 there, okay? Students will perform operations with rational and radical expressions, okay? I don't know why they wrote it that way. Rational expressions are chapter 4, that's here, and radical expressions, exponents and radicals, are chapter 5, okay? And then we've already done 6 there. Okay. Students will solve quadratic equations by 2 of the following: factoring, completing square, and using quadratic formula. Again, I didn't write this part, someone else did. That I combined with number 1, because there you're factoring, which we did up here, completing the square, which we'll cover in 6, and quadratic formula we'll cover in 6. But those, to me, fit together there. And then we do 4 and 5, okay? Solve linear equations and inequality. Everything we've done here is solving equations and inequality. So we're not going to have a chapter on that, but we've already been doing it, okay? Students will graph linear equations and inequalities in 2 variables, and that's chapter 7. Linear equations and inequality in 2 variables, and basically is graphing, okay? Students will work with functions. There's 2 sections in this chapter, chapter 10, we'll do with functions, and we'll solve systems of linear equations, and 2 sections in chapter 10. Okay, notice we skipped 9 altogether. We skipped 8 altogether and did 9 and 10. But only 2 sections in those. It's a lot to cover, and frankly, we may or may not get it all covered, okay? I have this theory of math and teaching math. You got to get the basics. If you get the basics, you can add on that later. So I'm going to make sure you got the basics down well. If we don't get every section covered here, at the end, it's something you'll probably be able to pick up pretty easily. But if you don't have the basics, I'm not going to rush through those, because when we get down here, you won't know the basics, and you won't have a clue on how to do that. So, wait a minute. No, that's it. Okay. Now, while I'm doing the competencies here, let me point out something else. About midway through each unit, I'll give you a quiz. The quiz will be take home, therefore it's open book, use whatever you need, and that'll be your quiz. Your test will be at the end of every unit, and that will be in class closed book. But let me say this, every test in class, except the final exam, every test in class, you can have a formula and equation sheet. Anything you want to write on a piece of paper, you can have as an aid during that test, except the final exam. Final exam is a departmental final, And since the other instructors don't allow it, I can't allow it either, okay? But every other test up until then, formula and equation sheet. Work it out, bring it with you, and you can use it. Now, the reason I do this is that when I was an undergraduate, and even in grad school, very seldom, but occasionally, I got to use one of these. The instructors say you can do that. Well, I found the night before I sat down and wrote down and synthesized and figured out what was the most important thing so I could get everything on there I really needed and wrote it down. And then when I went to take the test, I almost forgot to look at it because it was the best study technique I've ever used, is writing down those things. And I suggest you do this for every test you ever take, is do a formula and equation sheet. Now, if they don't allow it, don't use it. But guess what? The practice of doing it is the best way for you to review the material I know about. Okay, remind me when we come in. We'll pick up next time with evaluation and assessment. And we'll also go over the research paper. We'll go over my locator card. Hopefully I'll know it by then. And we'll go over safety. So we still got a bunch to do before we actually start math. But I'll try to get that done quickly.
You know what 157 is?
I'm sorry?
You know where 157 is?
Yes. Okay. Let me stop this so it can start